What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are going to do another classic 1990s Marvel story, The Heart of Darkness. Wait, no, we already did that one. Sorry, we are going to do the sequel, The Dark Design. Yes, this was the sequel to the first Ghost Rider, Punisher, Wolverine crossover we did a couple weeks ago. This is the sequel. They're back together once again in the same town as the last storyline. And of course, they're fighting against Blackheart once again. And so, of course, we all know when it comes to Blackheart, he has one goal in mind: to get rid of his father and be the ruler of hell. And so he's back again with a new plan to get that plan going to become the ruler of hell, to get rid of his father. And so this crossover, a lot of fans did not like. To a lot of fans, it was kind of eh. But to me, honestly, it's not that bad as most people said it was. Yes, there were some issues, but not a lot to be like, oh my God, this is the worst book ever. But tell me in the comments below how you feel about this story at the very end after going through this book. And so to begin today's storyline, we actually pick up where the last storyline actually took place in. Christ's Crown. Yes, Christ's Crown. We're back here again for the sequel. And of course, it makes sense because the last storyline took place here. So why not make the sequel also take place here? Now, with that being said, we actually do pick up with Ghost Rider. Now, you have to remember, back in the 1990s, the Ghost Rider was Danny Ketch. It wasn't Johnny Blaze. It wasn't Robbie Reyes. It was Danny Ketch, or Dan Ketch, but he is the third Ghost Rider out of all of the different Ghost Riders. Now, right now, we see him holding Lucy Crumb. Now, in the last video we did, Lucy Crumb was a little girl, but at this point, she's now a teenager, and we're going to learn more about her in this video. But in the opening pages, we do see Ghost Rider right now trying to get away with Lucy Crumb and another character known as Norma Jean. They're trying to get away from a group of people that have been corrupted by Blackheart, because Blackheart is back in town and apparently he has already begun the process, or already have taken over the city. And so he was able to make people go after Lucy because for some strange reason, he wants Lucy for this master plan that could possibly help him get rid of his father to become the ruler of hell. And so right now you have Ghost Rider, Lucy Crumb, and Norma Jean just trying to get away. But after a couple pages of them running away and they realize that Ghost Rider must fight these guys off if they have a chance to actually get away, you do have Ghost Rider being able to take most of these guys out. Matter of fact, all of them. But here comes the big problem though. Right after he does that, well, one of them actually touches Ghost Rider. And this is a way for Marvel to actually remove Ghost Rider from the story just for a tad bit. And the reason why I say that, because when that one person actually touch Ghost Rider, you have that person actually be able to corrupt Ghost Rider or begin the process of corrupting him. So like he's not completely corrupt right now, but there is some kind of corruption virus just slowly going through his veins. And so sooner or later, this could possibly be a big thing for Ghost Rider. And so you actually do have Ghost Rider just change back into Dan Ketch to keep that corruption from growing through his body completely. And so right now, Danny Ketch cannot turn into Ghost Rider because if he does, that corruption could possibly take over his body. But that's the moment we actually do pick up with Wolverine, because Wolverine has arrived in Christ's Crown. Now, the reason why Wolverine is here because he was called by Lucy for help. Now, you would think if I say he was called by Lucy, you would think that Lucy had actually called him up on some kind of cell phone or some kind of telephone period. But actually, no, she was able to contact him because now Lucy has powers. So in the last storyline, Lucy was just your regular girl. But in this storyline, she does have powers now, and she has the ability to contact people, kind of like Charles Xavier. She is a psychic, but she does have a second ability, which explains why Blackheart is coming after her now. Because right now, the corruption group, they're coming after her. They want her only. Everyone else, who cares? It's just Lucy they care for. But Wolverine arrives in time to basically begin the search to find Lucy, to find Ghost Rider, and to figure out why in the world she called him here for. Because right now, Wolverine has no idea that the town has been taken over by Blackheart. Now, while Wolverine is fighting against this group of people who have also been corrupted by Blackheart, that is the moment you have the Punisher appear, because you have to remember this is a Ghost Rider Wolverine Punisher crossover, and so we need the Punisher. And the Punisher was called in the same way as Wolverine was, by Lucy, because again, she now has powers. She has psychic abilities where she's able to contact people, and of course, she called Wolverine and the Punisher here for help, because again, Blackheart wants Lucy for some strange reason. The reason why, we have no idea. But of course, Blackheart wants her, and so right now he is sending waves and waves of corrupted people after her, and so she called for help. Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Punisher. It would make sense because, again, in the last storyline, they helped save her in that book as well. Now, we finally do pick up with Blackheart. Now, remember, Blackheart has some daddy issues because Blackheart wants to kill Mephisto and Blackheart wants to be the ruler of hell because, again, Blackheart is the son of Mephisto. Now, this is the moment we come to find out that basically when it comes to Blackheart, there is a prophecy. And that prophecy is Blackheart is supposed to be the assassin to Mephisto. Blackheart is supposed to kill Mephisto and basically take over hell. And so right now, that is kind of the main reason why Blackheart is trying his best to kill his father. Not because his father was very cruel to him or because his father was just not around. It was more because the prophecy says Blackheart should be the person to actually kill Mephisto. And of course, Blackheart wants to do that, but to also become the ruler of hell. Now, you do have Mephisto kind of appear and make fun of Blackheart because Mephisto knows that right now, Blackheart really can't kill him. And so Mephisto is like, there's no way that prophecy is going to happen. And of course, right now, you're on Earth doing my work. You're out there corrupting people, giving me more souls to feed my hell. And so right now, basically, even though Blackheart wants to kill his father, he's kind of helping his father at the same time. Now, you do have Blackheart kind of tell us that because he's building this army of corrupted people, his power has grown weak. And this could play a very important role in the storyline down the road. But getting back over to Ghost Rider and Lucy, we do see that right now they were able to build some kind of underground base for people who were not corrupted by Blackheart. And this will be explaining why these people were not corrupted by Blackheart in a few minutes. But for right now, they're here in this underground base as a way to hide from Blackheart, but to also hide from the corrupted people. Now, of course, you do have Danny Ketch trying to recover because that corruption is going through his body, and sooner or later, it will take over his body. But that is the moment you have some guards freak out because they do hear some noise. But of course, it's Wolverine and Punisher being able to find this space because Wolverine is a great tracker. Now, of course, you do have Wolverine and Punisher find Lucy to see that she has grown a lot since the last storyline, and also find Ghost Rider, who's right now fighting against a corruption in his body. So sometimes do pass by, and we actually do see our group right now talking to one another. Now, this moment right here is not the moment that explains why Blackheart is after Lucy, but you do have Lucy explain to Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider about her powers, and really it's very vague. And so we're left to believe what could she possibly be, and honestly we're left to believe that she could be a mutant, because she does tell Wolverine that when she was a kid she had no powers, but of course when she grown up, out of nowhere she got powers. And so of course it could be the idea that maybe her X gene was finally unlocked. That could be an idea, but again, Howard Mackie doesn't really tell us how in the world Lucy got powers. And so we're left to believe that, but she said, listen, the reason why I called you three guys here is because you guys are not afraid to walk that edge. Now that line right there is very important, because that was in the last video, the last storyline we did, because Blackheart wanted Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine because they were not afraid to kill, afraid to cross that line that most heroes do not cross. And so that's why she called them here again, because again, they're not afraid to cross that line, the line to kill. Now, we do jump back over to Blackheart and Mephisto. Now, you do have Blackheart continuing to try to grow his empire. He wants this empire to grow so that he'll be able sooner or later to find Lucy, to use Lucy for part of his plan, but on top of that, to hopefully kill off Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider. Now, while he's trying to build this empire, that is the moment you do have Mephisto appear. Now, when Mephisto appears, you have Mephisto continue to just make fun of Blackheart, because Mephisto knows that Blackheart wants to kill him to basically complete this prophecy. But you have Mephisto kind of like, dude, the bigger your empire grows, the weaker you become. And sooner or later, you'll be too weak. There's no way you'll be able to actually kill me. And so you have Blackheart try to show how much power he has. But of course, that power does nothing to Mephisto. And you have Mephisto tell Blackheart, hey, don't worry. Sooner or later, you're basically going to realize you're doing your job for me, which is killing people and giving me more souls. Now, this is where you have the story begin the process of wrapping up, but also explaining some things as well on why in the world we had this sequel to the last storyline. Because while you have Wolverine, Punisher, Ghost Rider, Lucy, and the rest of the gang right now in these underground tunnels, well, that is the moment they do get attacked by the corrupted people, because again, Blackheart wants Lucy. And so you do have Wolverine and the Punisher try to fight back against the corrupted people, but there are too many of them, and so right now they're being overrun. And so you have Danny Ketch say, I have to help out, because if I don't, they'll basically be overrun. And so you have Danny Ketch just go ahead and turn to Ghost Rider, even though that corruption is in his body. And so you do have our heroes all together once again fighting against the army of the corrupted people by Blackheart. The only thing is, though, their numbers are still too high. And so our heroes basically lose, and the corrupted people were able to grab Lucy, but to also grab Ghost Rider as well. And this is the moment we begin the process of actually learning what in the world Blackheart wants with Lucy for. Now, we do get a page where basically it's explained to us why in the world Blackheart wants Lucy for. And the reason why, because when it comes to Blackheart, he wants Lucy because of her second ability. Remember, I said earlier she has two abilities. Yes, she is a psychic, but her other ability is basically giving people hope. You heard that right. She gives people hope. And so when this town began to be taken over by Blackheart, there were people who weren't corrupted, the ones we saw in the underground tunnels. And those people were not corrupted because Lucy gave them hope that they will survive this takeover. They will survive against Blackheart. And so that hope was a way for them to fight back against the corruption of Blackheart. But Blackheart wants to marry Lucy because of that ability, the ability of hope, so that it will basically keep him sane. Not insane. Keep him sane. Because right now, with him going around trying to build this kingdom, trying to kill his father, he's slightly going in the direction of becoming insane. Now, you do have the Punisher and Wolverine arrive at the wedding of Blackheart and Lucy, which honestly sound weird to say. I don't know why. But either way, you do have the Punisher and Wolverine appear to basically stop Blackheart. Now, you do have Blackheart show Wolverine and Punisher that he was able to catch Ghost Rider. And so right now the question is, are they going to make the move to possibly kill off Blackheart? But there could be a possibility that Blackheart could kill Lucy off and also kill Ghost Rider as well. Now, Wolverine and Punisher, they believe that Blackheart, his power has grown weak, which they are not wrong, but at the same time, they are wrong. And the reason why, because even though Blackheart is weaker than he usually is, he's still a very powerful character against Wolverine and Ghost Rider and the Punisher. Because you didn't have Wolverine, the Punisher, also get captured by Blackheart. And this is the moment you have Blackheart kind of do this mind game on our three heroes. Now, these mind games are very similar to the ones we saw in the last storyline. They're not exactly the same, but the idea of Blackheart trying to do the same thing all over again kind of bothers me a tad bit. But either way, you do have Wolverine kind of go through the idea of him being an animal in Canada. The Punisher goes through the idea of killing bad people who are just as bad the people who had killed his family. And then for Ghost Rider, it's the idea of someone destroying the grave of his sister. And so they do go through these mind games. And honestly, at first, you would think that there could be a possibility that they could actually mess with the minds of our heroes. But honestly, they don't. These memories don't mess up our hero's mind. Instead, it actually gives them strength to continue to fight, to continue to be heroes. And so that is the moment you do have our heroes actually break through the mind games of Blackheart to actually attack Blackheart. Now, we don't really get a big epic battle in this storyline. What I mean is that we don't see, Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine fight Blackheart for like 3 or 4 pages. Instead, we only get about a page of that. And then we jump into the idea of Blackheart actually begging Wolverine and Ghost Rider and the Punisher to not hurt him or to kill him. Because you do have Blackheart tell Ghost Rider, you have to realize, if my father is gone, I will be a better ruler of hell, which could mean the souls in hell will be treated differently, possibly better. But of course, the Ghost Rider, he's all like, no, I can't trust you. You took over an entire town of people, made them corrupted. They killed other innocent people in this town. Those bloods that was spilled is on your hands, my dude. So no, you're not as good as your father or better than your father. You're actually as evil as your father. And so you have our heroes just walk away. But to go ahead and wrap up this video, we actually do pick up with Lucy running back over to Blackheart, and she does use her powers to give Blackheart hope. Now, this hope is going to be very important, but on top of that, you have Blackheart actually being able to complete his plan. Because once our heroes and Lucy leave, you do have Blackheart be confronted by his father. Now, Mephisto is kind of like, I told you, you were going to lose. You were going to fail. You're basically just good enough to be my assistant to help feed me souls, and that is it. But that is the moment you have Blackheart say, no, the prophecy is finally going to happen. And that is the moment you have Blackheart pull out a knife. Now, this knife is actually very important because with this knife is covered in blood of an innocent child. And if that blood is basically on a knife and stabbed into Mephisto, Mephisto dies. Remember, the prophecy said Mephisto would give birth to a son, which is Blackheart, and Blackheart would be the assassin that would kill Mephisto. But the way to kill Mephisto is Blackheart needed a knife of an innocent child, and he has that knife covered in blood of an innocent child. And the innocent child was Lucy. And so he does use that blood. He does use that knife. He stabs Mephisto and bam, Mephisto is dead and Blackheart becomes the ruler of hell. And this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, guys, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.